Greetings, everybody. I just wanted to give you a little bit of an update. This is an update really on my channel. I'm sure people have heard this already elsewhere, but for people who watch my channel, this is kind of a little bit of extra information about the Peter Jackson Beatles movie, The Beatles Get Back, that is now going to be seen on November 25th, 26th, 27th, a three-parter documentary, really, no longer like a theatrical film experience of 2.5, 3 hours. So it's going to be 6 hours. But the update is kind of based on a Vanity Fair article on the Peter Jackson project. Now, when I did my video on this, the last one, when I was bemoaning the fact that I was disappointed, as many were, that this was not going to be in theaters, a few people in the comments and elsewhere on social media too that I encountered had said that there was a Vanity Fair article, and the Vanity Fair article kind of went into more detail about things we would be seeing in the film, things we would not be seeing in the film. I keep calling it a film. I don't think of it as a film now. I think of it as a documentary three-part project. So excuse me if I keep slipping up and saying film, force of habit. But when they told me about this Vanity Fair article, they didn't tell me what the date was on it, and I realized it's a new article in Vanity Fair. It's an update, very new, recently. I didn't know, when people were giving me that information, how old it was. It could have been a year or two old for all I knew. And when people were saying, well, you have to understand, this is what it said in Vanity Fair about the project, I thought that, for all I knew, this is old, outdated information and not up to the moment. So now I know it is up to the moment. I read the Vanity Fair article. I went all the way through it, and it was very encouraging in the sense that it turns out that there's going to be some material in this film that's not necessarily just all a rewashing or revisionist approach. A lot of people were wondering if we were going to just see Peter Jackson only focusing on all the ups and none of the tensions. Well, apparently they are going to be showing the interaction between Paul McCartney and George Harrison, where they had a little bit of a squabble. But he's going to show the aftermath of what came after that as well, to kind of offset it a little bit. And what I found interesting is finding out that none of the material in the new Get Back project is going to be the same as Let It Be, the 1970 film. It's going to be all new stuff. If anything, it is said, is going to be used that was already seen in Let It Be, it's going to be from a different angle. Like even the aforementioned squabble with Paul and George is going to have a different angle, camera angle, I think. There's a lot of cameras at work and things. So that's interesting, just to know that. And also, this is very important, there's going to be the segment that we never saw before in the original Let It Be, of George Harrison actually leaving the group for a short time and walking out, which is interesting. Now, it's not because, believe me, it's not because I want to see all gloom and doom. On the contrary, I was kind of changing my opinion about the proposed theatrical film, enjoying the idea that it was going to be a more upbeat, positive, happy swing, to this, where we had the original Michael Lindsay Hogg, 1970 Let It Be, which was already kind of a downer for the most part, with exceptions. I liked the idea that the Peter Jackson film was going to concentrate a little more on upbeat stuff. I also learned from the Vanity Fair article that he showed the Rooftop Concert to some people, and apparently Olivia Harrison from the George camp was very thrilled with it and watched it several times. And we already know that Paul and Ringo were very happy. They came out and said a year or more ago that they liked what they saw and that it wasn't all gloom and doom as they had thought it was. Let It Be kind of cast a bad shadow on this. So that's good. And then they were wondering about, well, what about Yoko Ono from the John Lennon camp, And it's the first time I learned here that, from this article, that it's Sean Lennon, John's second son, who is actually the one that was shown, I believe, the rooftop concert, maybe some other stuff. So I think it's Sean Lennon who's now kind of taking up on the Lennon estate front. You know, we already know that Sean is now overseeing the release of John's special edition albums that are coming out now, being redone, you know, and put out. So apparently he was the one that also had something to say about the Get Back Peter Jackson project. So yeah, I'm feeling a little better about this. It's 6 hours instead of whatever a movie would have been in the theater, 2 hours, 2.5 hours, 3 hours. Everybody's pointing out how Peter Jackson is known for long movies and projects like Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit and things like that. So, I know that about him, you know. Personally, no disrespect to Peter Jackson, I don't have much experience with him. I haven't seen Lord of the Rings. I haven't seen The Hobbit. I did see King Kong in 2005, and I was very disappointed with King Kong. Sorry, Peter. That was kind of overblown, too, and overinflated. But we'll see, you know, come November, what this is going to be. I still am disappointed that this is not going to be in theaters. I'm still disappointed. But one thing I've learned from some of the comments and people who haven't had experience with Disney Plus, the channel that's going to run this, or the app, I should say, not the Disney Plus app, people have had children, grandchildren, and they say that, you know, one of my concerns originally in my last video was that, well, I wanted new generations of kids to get a chance to see this and maybe get into the Beatles from this theatrical experience. And a lot of people, rightly, I think, pointed out that these days, with still lingering COVID-19 and stuff, we're not really getting a lot of people going to theaters as much as we'd like. And there's probably, in the long run, more of a chance that a lot of young, new generation Beatle fans would actually be born as such fans by seeing this on Disney Plus. More fans on the Disney Plus broadcast than would have been in theaters. So yeah, I'm disappointed about the movie theater, but I've come to realize that it may be a better thing in the sense that there will be a lot more young people exposed to the Disney Plus app, you know, and maybe a lot of more children will be seeing this. So maybe their parents or grandparents will be introducing them to the Disney feature. Okay? Well, that's it, folks. Thank you, everybody, for watching, and talk to you soon.